back of his mind. But it was something that was pretty much unbelievable. To hear that the firstborn was going to be rejected and the younger son was going to get the blessing, that was unheard of in that period. Everything went to the firstborn. So now Isaac and Jacob and Esau were born, and Esau was a problem child. He had problems. Esau's starting to identify that stuff today. It took Esau to identify those problems. Okay, they call it ADHD, the Asperger's. Esau had all kind of problems. That cat, everybody was just looking at him like, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with this boy? Clearly see he was bad. He was bad. He was unusually bad, okay? He wasn't the 2-year-old terrible 2. He was bad. He was always rebellious. He was always disappointing. Isaac had high hopes for him. That was his son. And he had high hopes for him. So he always hoped that he would get his act together. You know, the one thing that he could go out and do was damn hunt like an animal. He could do that. He was good with that, you know. So that's the only thing that really made Isaac happy, is that Esau knew how to hunt some good meat. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, Esau was a big problem, a big disappointment, a headache, whatever you want to call it, always grieving his parents. Let's go up to the first verse. Get Genesis 27:1. And read that, please.
And it came to pass,
read on,
that when Isaac was old.
Okay, so he was at a point where he thought that his life was about to be, he was about to be leaving this earth. When you keep reading, you realize he was wrong. Okay, he lived a lot longer than he thought he was going to be around. But he was old. He was starting to get, his eyes were starting to get bad. He wasn't completely blind, like the brother said, but he was, he really couldn't make out things too much. It was like a blur. That's why the scripture says dim. It was a blur. He couldn't really see what was, he's seen images, but he couldn't make them out. Did everybody understand that? Read on.
And his eyes were dim.
He wasn't blind, okay? But his eyes were dim. Everybody understand that? Read on.
So that he could not see.
So that he could not see, which means clearly he couldn't make out the images that was actually in front of him. Read on.
He called Esau his eldest son.
So being that he didn't know when he was going to pass away, he had a pretty good idea that death was near. He called Esau his eldest son to make sure he blessed him. He gave him that blessing before he had the blessing of the firstborn, the right of the firstborn, before he had passed away. Read on.
And said unto him,
read on,
my son.
Read on.
And he said unto him,
read on,
behold, here am I.
Read on.
And he said, behold now, I am old.
Read it again.
I am old.
Yeah, he thought he was at the point of death. He was around somewhere in the area of maybe in between 130 years old and anywhere close to 137. You get that number because his brother Ishmael died at 137 years old. Okay, so what would make him think that he's at the point of dying? He wasn't sick to that point, but he was reaching that age where his older brother had passed away at around that period. So he figured, I'm about to go. So let me go ahead and let me do what I got to do, my due diligence, and let me bless the firstborn so things can continue on after the days of my death. Read on.
I know not the day of my death.
I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but I'm going according to, I had an older brother. He ain't here no more. I'm reaching his age. Ishmael was about 14 years older than Isaac. Okay. So he reaching that point where my older brother's gone. I'm at that age. I don't know exactly what day it's going to be. It turned out to be decades. He had all kind of time. So you can't pick that time, Let the Lord tell you. Everybody got that? Nevertheless, read on.
Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow.
Read on.
And go out to the field.
Read on.
And take me some venison.
Read on.
And make me savory meat.
Read on.
Such as I love.
You see that? So that gives you an indication that this is something that Esau was able to do without being disappointing to his parents. He was able to get some good game, okay? That cat knew how to trap an animal, brother. That cat was no joke. A barefoot Tarzan, I'm telling you. He was no joke. Like the apostle went through, they said he came out like a hairy garment, okay? A hairy garment, again, like Rebecca, with her wisdom, she took goat skins with a bunch of hair on it. You know how hairy a goat is? The scriptures tell you that John the Baptist wore camel hair as a garment, okay? The camel hair too short. She took goat's hair. So when it says hairy garment, it gives you, the fact that she took goat's hair lets you know Esau was a beast. That cat was horrible looking. It wasn't no grooming it up and getting lines. It was, you can't line that up, okay? That's damn Duck Dynasty right there. You can't, them cats can't get no lines. So he was messed up. But what he was able to do with all his disappointments and madness, Esau was the story in a way that is told gives you all of the details. Esau came from the field when he sold his birthright, and what happened? He was at the point to die. That shows you what kind of hunter he is, man. He ain't just give up. Okay, ain't nothing out here. That man was out there catching hell and couldn't find nothing, but he was at the point of death when he returned. Okay, that's how much he put into his hunt. In the bushes, all you see is an eye looking out. No. Job described that later on, that they was braying among the bushes. Okay? The sun hot as hell, damn heat stroke. Oh, that man ain't give up. No, something gonna come by. Patient hunter. Just sit still for hours. You know them animals, you can't make a move. They hear something, they look, they out. You know? This guy would just lay there and camouflage, okay? Just look at him today, okay? Look at this guy. He calls himself a SEAL, a Navy SEAL and all that. That guy come out the bushes, look like a bush. You be like, damn, that's Esau. Look just like a bush with a gun in his hand. That's Esau right there. That guy is a cunning hunter. So he was able to get up on some meat, some good meat, okay? And kill it. And bring it back, and that's some meat that people can't just catch. Isaac was loving that meat. It's like, this is one thing that boy got right. Even at the point of his death, where he thought he was about to die, he said, I just want to taste that food. I just want to taste some of that venison only you can catch. And he wanted to, the point of that is what he wanted to be in a good mood. When he blessed Esau, because just thinking about Esau put you in a bad mood. I'm not even joking. The boy was bad, okay? The man was such a disappointment that Jacob needed motivation to bless him. Like, do something that I love for once, okay? Go get some venison. This chapter ends telling you what? Let's go to the end of the chapter and read verse, no, it's not the end, where is it at? Read verse, yeah, I guess we'll get to it. We'll get to it. I can. But it just shows you Esau was a vexation. Okay, he was vexing to his parents. He always was doing something he wasn't supposed to do. Everybody understand that? So finally, do something that's gonna make me happy. Do something that's gonna put me in a good mood. And once I'm done eating this food, I'm gonna be in a good mood. I lick my lips. Then I'm gonna tell you about your future. Everybody understand that? What's the proof of that? The proof of that, again, is you go to Jacob and think about when it was time for him to bless his 12 sons. And it was 2 sons that Jacob just kept silent on, Simeon and Levi. And when their sister had got raped, they went and they, without Jacob's approval, without including him in on the plan. All they had to do was tell Jay. He probably said, let's do this. But they ain't tell him. And when he expressed displeasure with them because of what they had did, they had caused made a covenant with these heathens to circumcise themselves, and then they went upon the city boldly and slayed everybody and took Dana out of Shechem's house. Do everybody understand that? But the thing is, when Jacob heard what happened and he admonished them about it and saying that now all the tribal heathens is going to get together and they're going to come and try to kill all of us. And then the last statement that was made was by Simeon and Levi, should we let him deal with our sister like a whore? So they spoke back, and Jacob ain't say nothing else. He just said, okay. Mm-hmm. The day when he was about to die, it came back. When he had to think about Simeon and Levi, it was unpleasant thoughts. So what came? Simeon and Levi, cursed be your anger. Because that was on his mind. Another one of his sons, Joseph, went to him and told him, listen, I heard, the brothers all know that damn Reuben went up and slept with he was supposed to sleep with. He slept. He went up to your couch. Jacob was silent until it was time for Reuben to get that blessing. He brought it back up. Said, thou wentest up to thy father's couch. Thou shalt not excel. So it lets you know you can't displease your parents. Okay, because when it's time to put that blessing out, or a curse may come out instead of a blessing. Everybody understand that? Everybody got that? So Isaac was trying to get himself in a good mood so he can bless Esau appropriately, because Esau was a big disappointment. Do everybody understand that? And eating that food. How many of y'all know that? I don't know if you had good food in a while because you in hell. Now you definitely need somebody to know how to cook. Make anything taste like something, right? The scripture says you should eat your bread defiled among the Gentiles. But when you have a real good mood, when you have a real good food, food and mood, it rhymes, right? When you have real good food, it puts you in a good mood, right? Some of y'all don't appreciate a good meal. It puts you in a good mood. You're like, that was good. You be drinking some good juice and just put it up to heaven. Like, this is wonderful. This is good. Right? To put you in a good mood. When you have bad food, you be all cranky. You be mad. You be jacked up, man. You be mad as hell, man. You be damn. You be complaining how much you had to pay for it and all that. Huh? This ain't something that's strange, okay? When people about the on death row and all that, I don't know if they still do it, but they what you want for your last meal, man? I'll take a hot for a Sunday and then what else, man? My soul desire. I take some ribeye steak with some mushroom sauce. Like, yeah, before you go out, man, enjoy something before you go out. So that's what it was all about, putting them in a good mood. Everybody understand that? Read it one more time. Verse what?
Verse 4.
Read it again.
And make me savory meat.
Read on.
Such as I love.
Read on.
And bring it to me.
Read on.
That I may eat.
Read on.
That my soul.
Read it again.
That my soul.
Read on.
May bless thee.
Yeah, it's coming out of Isaac's own mouth. Listen, no, give me something I love so I can give you a blessing, because Lord knows. If my soul ain't right, I'm going to think about all your madness. That cat came out speaking lies. We know that from the prophet David. The cat was a liar. Did you catch venison this day, son? No lie, son. Probably had venison in the back. He tried to eat it for himself.